What's up, everybody? So, you know, my dad pretty much taught me all things music. Taught me how to play guitar. Bought me my first production setup when I was like 13. I had like an ASR 10 sampler. I had a Casio keyboard. I had Cakewalk. Man, I had it all. I was learning music production at 13. So, and I never did a song with him. And I thought it would be cool to have him come in and just lay some random things with his African hand drum. I forgot the name of it, but it's African hand drum, I believe. I'll look it up. And then you know, just play a couple chords, and then I would turn it into one of my lo-fi releases, one of the, you know, the lo-fi genre that I've been working on. I thought this would be a cool video to show you guys the process that we took. Super simple. Let's go. I just told him to play any, not even to tempo. I knew I was probably going to get to about 75 BPM for this song, but I just wanted him to groove out, and I wanted to get his feel and then adjust it to what I was doing. But this was the first thing that he did. So I took that to really create the foundation of the song. Took that, and I selected 75 BPM. So I cut up the bongo that he played, and I sliced it into separate, basically, samples here. Different. Each hit became its own slice, its own sample, and every DAW obviously can do this. And then I quantized it, just a random quantize. I think it was 1/16 that I used, and just to see what it would come up with, and I liked it. Kind of has that skip. So that was the start of what would be the groove for the song. Of course, by itself, it sounds kind of boring, right? So what we did, first I went in and added some RC20 and found this patch called sad piano, or preset, and I liked it. Right? Just kind of adds some lo-fi vibes, some noise, wobble, tape wobble, flutter. Shaper Box 3, which is another great plugin, and found this preset called Fill Stutter Groove. And I really liked what it was doing, especially at the end of that loop there, right here. It emphasized, I think what happened was I was yelling when my dad was laying it down. I was like, yeah, I love it. And I think it grabbed a little of that into the mic that I was recording the drum on, the bongo. So I liked what it was doing with it. Then added some ambient stuff from ROM. This is a really nice plugin for finding spaces, reverbs. I found this called Backwash Grains. It's almost just like adding, I don't know what it's doing, but it's adding stuff too, not just reverb, but it's adding like you're in the ocean. I loved it. Anyway, put that. And then just did some final high cut EQ to keep the super bright, airy stuff tamed. So right around 37, 3800. No, sorry. Yeah, right around there. Just a little high cut. And that was the basics for the bongo right there. Then I wanted him to lay the chords for the song. And we just kept it basic. We did a 2-chord.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm just learning the keys here. I like
where
this.
is it at?
I like this. This is how the.
Oh, that
I like
yeah.
Yeah,
I like,
that was
like
too
those chords, yeah.
too minor for me, for what we're trying to do. So that's what I started liking, what he was playing here. Let me turn off the click. Oh, here it is. So that was the raw chords he was playing. Just a basic 2-chord jam. And I liked that vibe. And we originally laid it down with in MIDI. So here's the MIDI notes that he played right here. But I think we used the Alicia Keys piano, which I use all the time. I mean, that's a producer's go-to, right? Alicia Keys piano is such a great plugin off of Contact Native Instruments. Yeah, and then I rendered it into an audio file. Then we had to put some sauce on it. So, crystalline, I think that's how you say it. Just instantly sets a vibe. Such a good plugin, crystalline. I think I just turned it on. There's not even a preset. I just turned it on, messed with all the size of the reflection, sparkle width, depth, clean up. I didn't do anything. Messed with the shape. And then here you can, adjust between how much of the plugin, obviously dry and wet. So this is kind of what I ended up with on here. And then I wanted to put some delay. So this is a go-to delay, Arterial stuff. Found this preset, Ping Pong Lo-Fi. It's just a little bit, right? Just add some of that wow, 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 that little delay. But I love it, just enough. Just adds up. And then I used a little channel strip. I don't think you can hear it too much, but just to add a little more analog feel. So this gives a nice analog feel. The Lendl 80 channel, it's real nice. Yeah, you can hear. Yes. I think it's doing a little compression too. Not much, but yeah, so that was the piano. And this is so that set the tone for what the overall groove would be. We wanted to build off of that. I usually just go right into figuring out a kick and a snare. And for this one, sometimes I'll just find the sample, in my media bay, which I did here through my, I have a bunch of sample library, and I just drag it right in. There's so many ways to do it, but that's the way I did this one. I just drag the sample into the session and placed it in different patterns to see what I like. And I like that. And then I found a snare. Which is a nice lo-fi snare. Oh yeah, you can hear me. Yeah. But I ended up adding to the ambiance of the track when it's all in there. Anyway, and then we put the hi-hat same way. Found a sample and just placed it in. Found a pocket I like. Did some filtering, some EQing on the snare. The hi-hat just to see, didn't want it too bright. Not for this genre. Kind of all this area and this genre and lo-fi is pretty much hands off, because it's bright and in your face, and lo-fi background music is supposed to kind of just be chill and not all in your face like a pop song or something, you know. So most of the stuff on you're gonna see is filtered out there. I don't know if I filtered anything. Yeah. Oh, looks like I added some compression on the snare. Just a little bit. I love this compressor plugin Alliance. Good stuff. Just under maybe 3 dB. 3 dB, yeah, 3 dB of gain reduction. Just see, just so it pops a little more. Obviously, snare is very important, so you want that to stick out. So I kind of get that from the get-go, even before a mix. I'll just make sure that, you know, that kind of sets a standard of what should be smacking the hardest, maybe in your face, right? Yeah, so 2 to 3 dB of gain reduction. I don't think I processed the kick any yet. The kick is just, yeah, cool. And then we went on to this next section here and added, started adding some more melodic pads. I grabbed that, I believe, from Pigments. I think it was a patch called AT Pad Soul. I might have closed out the instrument, yeah. But I grabbed that from Pigments, which is one of my favorite synths. There's so much going on in there. I'll do a whole review on that. I mean, there's a bunch, but I'll do one for you. And then I rendered that so I could put some processing. Again, just some EQ. Just to see, make it less bright, that's all. Especially on that filter, it gets really bright. Then we put some of this. What was this? Yeah. I love it. It was just a loop I found. It's a Foley loop. I think it was, you know, just sound effects, and I loved it. Put some EQ again, but this time I was using the Q3 to do some dynamic processing here. So actually a lot, about, yeah, 8 dBs. So just when these frequencies hit a certain threshold, Fab 3 controls it dynamically. So it's not a constant, you know, it's not just a static EQ. It's letting it breathe a little more. It's only when this area hits it. And I'm gonna definitely do a whole review on Q3. It's a must-have for all producers. It's such a powerful, good program. Shout out to FabFilter. Put that, and then again, crystalline. Look at that. Found this preset called Hall Mega. I love it. It just sets the vibe. Yep. Okay. What else did we do here on this section? And then we added some 808. For this, I used Sublab for the bass. Yeah. That's so nasty. So I started with this patch, Noisy, and messed with the distortion and the tape and the compression. What's wrong with my GUI here? Weird. I don't know why I can't see it, but came up with that. Then did a little more processing. Put the Brainworks compressor on it, and just used. I mean, I know a lot of people are like presets are. That's kind of some of the reason why you use a certain plugin, because you just know that preset's gonna get you exactly where you want. And that's what I'm about, you know. Save time, get the preset up. If it sounds great, don't worry you didn't make the set, you know. That's why you buy the plugin sometimes. But anyway, I found this preset called Bass Tamer because obviously that 808 is all over the place. It's gonna take up a lot of room, and you don't want that. So Bass Tamer, it looks like 8, 9, 10, you know, 8, 9 dB of gain reduction, so a lot to control that. And then even more here, again using the Fab Q3 to control around 76 with this Q setting here. I don't know if it's coming across, you know, on video, but it's really controlling a lot of the sub. And I have also a high pass or a low cut filter right around 26 to roll off some of that sub. And then we got that. And that's kind of the first section. We go into a different section here. I mean, I guess you could call it the chorus or the bridge or something, but it changes up a little bit. And for that, we added just birds. found a patch. I mean, not a patch, but found a loop of birds. I love it because I just wanted to change where we were gonna go with it. And you can barely hear it when it's in the mix, but it gives you a whole different. And then, of course, I mean, Valhalla. Who doesn't use Valhalla? So good. I think this is the first patch that comes up default. Messed with it a little bit, but all of a sudden you're in a bird cave, so I love it. So we put that in the next section, and then we also, what is this? What is this guy? Oh, so different percussion loop, which on its own is kind of cool. But again, I wanted to make sure it's in the same setting as all the other stuff, which is in a bigger setting, a bigger, you know, reverb effect basically. So I think it's the same one, Valhalla, and then again controlling the high end. Yeah. Control all that brightness. We don't want that. And then the 808 pattern changed. Same patch, but I changed the notes. Yeah. Just musically change it up. So that's what this section sounds like. Back to the other section. And that's pretty much it. I mean, keep it real simple. Just, you know, create some kind of vibe with some simple instruments, and that was what we came up with. And I'm calling it Dad's Song. I love it. Something that we'll put out, and it'll definitely be on Spotify and YouTube and wherever, all digital platforms. And it's something that you can add to your lo-fi playlist, and it's something that my dad and I can have as memories. You know, I love it. I can show you real quick how I did the mix. It's just a quick mix. Lo-fi was fun about lo-fi. You don't have to put too much into it, but you know, as if I were doing a pop song or my island reggae, you know, you put a lot more time into the mix, especially because there's vocals. So vocals are always, you know, one of the hardest things to get right. But lo-fi is fun because it's supposed to sound a little grungy, a little like unfinished, in my opinion. That's the beauty in it. But I route everything. Everything goes to something called submix, you see here, and usually I'll have something like this, a meter, just to make sure all of the instruments going to the submix is gain staged right. You don't want already coming in, you know, to your final stereo bus already like this, you know what I mean, tapping out. So I just push everything into this, just to overall trimming, right? On the submix, I would have something just a default, some kind of tape emulation to give it a little more analog feel. Sometimes you can have it, you know, I only mess maybe with these settings here. That's it. Just make sure it's not blowing up. You can push this a little actually too. Something like that. That's all I would do. And then I controlled this part again. It was a little too bassy still here. That 808. Put the Fab 3 EQ here on that. Just to grab a little bit of that when the 808 hits. So again, it's set dynamically. It's not a static EQ. It's just hitting it when that frequency hits right in here. And then I did a little more control with the TDR. I love this thing, TDR Nova. This is the Gentleman's Edition. And basically, you analyze, you play the song, and you play maybe the loudest portion of it, the most dynamic portion, and it'll analyze it, and it'll just look for resonant frequencies, and it'll give you, you know, ideas of where it thinks there's some problem issues, and it's usually pretty right. I'd say 90% of the time it's right, and it found some of these frequencies to be resonant. So so you can see it's controlling it using dynamic compression, I guess. Yeah, well, dynamic EQ. Love that. So did some control there, and then we're coming into some overall compression. I'm using the Unisum. It's awesome. Very little. It's like a dB. But it does a lot. I love it. And then really just bringing it up to level. I like to use Insight, and I like to use the TDR stuff to use as a limiter to bring it to the level, which I'm usually going for Spotify, -14 LUFs, right around there. So I mean, look how clean that limiting is. So good. My settings might be a little off from the original mix because you know, I'm messing with the levels, but that's the chain I would use. And it's doing a little reduction there, but it's so clean and transparent that it's good stuff. I think I had another, I was comparing the two. Can't remember if I used that somewhere, but yeah, I think I had it. I didn't use it, but this is a from Waves, the pumper, which is kind of cool. You can decide the you know, if it's going to do in quarter notes, 16 notes, whatever, and you can have it, you know, you can have it feel like a side chain compressor pumping thing, and that's used a lot in lo-fi. It's used a lot in house music, EDM. I think I had it up to try it, and then I ended up not liking it, so it was 0. Like and follow if you like content like this.